LEIGHTDICKEY.com.
Do you have an event or occasion coming up that could use a special touch? Perhaps a wedding, a production, a show? Good! Then you're in luck. Hayley Moores is who you're looking for. Hayley is a makeup artist in the Toronto, Ontario area, specializing in bridal, glam, natural, and special effects. She's incredibly talented, professional, easy to work with, and has a personality that is second to none. To book Hayley Moores today, follow her on Instagram at mad_milash, that's MAD_MILASH, or email her at madmilash, again, that's MADMILASH @gmail.com. Book Hayley Moores today, you'll be glad you did.
LEIGHTDICKEY.com. LEIGHTDICKEY.com.
What's going on, everybody? Leigh Dickey here. Welcome to another episode of the Beats and Speaks podcast. Of course, before we get into the body of today's episode, I want to tell you where to find the Beats and Speaks podcast. New episodes of the Beats and Speaks podcast are released every Friday at midnight Eastern Time on my official website, LEIGHTDICKEY.com, iTunes, Spotify, and wherever you get your podcasts. Leave us a review. Give us a like, subscribe to the show, and I will feature it on my website. If you'd like to be a guest on a future episode of the Beats and Speaks podcast, send me an email to leightdickey@gmail.com. That's LEIGHTDICKEY @gmail.com, and we can talk about whatever you like. We'll just shoot the breeze and have a good old-fashioned, fun, good time. Now that all that housekeeping is out of the way, let's get into this week's episode of the Beats and Speaks podcast, which is a general interest, lifestyle, entertainment, comedy show where I share stories with all of you. This week's episode, I want to basically give you guys a drink review. Yes, I know this might sound weird, but I'm going to review a drink for you guys. It is the Starbucks Cold Brew iced coffee. Now, I'm not a big caffeine drinker. I will probably have 2 cups of coffee a week at best. And even then, I drink my coffee black, so no milk, no sugar, no cream, nothing, just black. Thank you, because that's probably the healthiest option I could think of, where it's just a black coffee, it does its job, and if I need to start the engine, it will start. Now, I'm on the go today. I'm sitting here at a park, and there is a daycare off to the right of me, and there is traffic going by, so if you hear background noise, that's just part of the ambience. But when it comes to the Starbucks Cold Brew iced coffee, I got one last Sunday because I had to be up early and out for some sort of function with this group that I go see once a week. It was a Sunday morning, it was about 9 o'clock, and there's a Starbucks probably less than half a kilometer from my house. What that is in miles, you guys can do the conversion because I can't think off the top of my head right now. But I go to a Starbucks that's a half a kilometer from my house, maybe less than that, and it's a warm day. It's probably as warm, if not warmer than it is today. Today, as I'm recording this, it is, where are we? Tuesday, September 25th. This is the day I'm recording it. Wednesday, September 25th. And it's about 25 Celsius, so that's about 77 Fahrenheit. So it was either as warm, if not, maybe even a little more so than it is today on that Sunday, which was this past weekend. And it was too warm for me just to have a normal iced, like a normal coffee, a normal hot black coffee. It was way too hot, way too warm. I mean, I'm wearing a jacket and a t-shirt, which is basically the same uniform that I'm wearing on the day of this recording. And I just figured, okay, well, the iced coffee is their normal iced coffee is a little too weak, shall we say. It's a little too tame for me. And it had been a while since I'd had like a cold brew, right? Which is it's basically iced coffee on steroids. It's iced coffee pumped up. It's been steeped or stored for about 20 hours or so, so it's really, really potent. And I figured, like, I normally would get a venti, which is a large in normal English. So I figure, okay, maybe not a venti, because I don't even think that's legal to put that much cold brew coffee in a cup of that size. I think the venti or the large size cups, when it comes to their iced drinks, is somewhere between 20 and 24 ounces. That's a lot of iced coffee or a lot of cold brew, and I'm going to be up for 6 months if I have one of those. So I opted for the medium, which is the grande in Starbucks speak. So I got that. It was just black. I drink that the same way I drink my hot coffee. Just a black coffee, thank you very much. The only difference is it's really potent and it has ice cubes in it. So I leave the Starbucks to continue on my way, and I take 3 sips right as I get out of the store. Just 3 small sips. I probably had taken 5 feet, like 5 steps from the door, and I've taken like three small sips, and I was really tired the night before because I didn't get to bed till maybe, I don't know, 2:30, 3 in the morning, maybe even later than that. It might have been closer to 4. I can't remember all that much. But I had gotten to a point where I was like, okay, I need cold brew coffee. I need a cold coffee, basically. I got it. It was their cold brew because I find that their iced coffee doesn't really do the trick for me if I have one. And even then, it's rare that I have a coffee, period. So I figure, okay, it had been a while since I had a cold brew. That's fine. Let's get a cold brew. I get a cold brew. I take 3 sips, all within the first maybe 5 minutes of me buying this drink. I'm outside of the store continuing on my way, and I'm just trying to wake up. 3 small sips from this medium or grande, cold brew iced coffee, and I am floating. I am in the clouds. I am on the same level playing field as a 747. It is absolutely phenomenal. I feel numb. It's just, I feel all warm and fuzzy, I tell you. It is a super windy day today as I'm recording this too, by the way. But I'm sure you can tell on the mic. I don't even know how this is going to sound. But I took 3 small sips of that iced coffee, or from that iced coffee, and I was floating for the entire day. That's after 3 sips. I finished that medium or grande cold brew iced coffee within maybe 20 minutes, and I was up in the clouds, and just up, period. Really alert, really awake for the rest of the day. Now the day is 24 hours, so I ordered that coffee and started drinking it at 9 o'clock. I was done by 9:30, and it did not wear off until 2 a.m. the following day. So I didn't get to bed till 2 o'clock in the morning. But thankfully it wore off, and by the time I hit the pillow, I went right to sleep, which was great. It didn't help that I had to be up super early the next day, but oh well, such is life. It was something else, I tell you. The amount of just, like, I guess you could say caffeine, but the potency of that cold brew coffee was absolutely phenomenal. Because, I mean, 3 small sips and I'm wide awake. The entire grande cold brew within like a half an hour or less than that, and I'm up till 2 a.m. A 17-hour threshold. It was insane. I mean, granted, did it start to wane a little bit? Yeah, but I mean, to keep me alert and awake for 17 hours, whoa, maybe it's just because I wasn't used to that much caffeine. and I kind of drank it within less than a half an hour, so it was something else. But I kind of figured, like, I didn't think it was that potent, okay? But clearly it was, and I was up for 17 hours. Granted, that's an ace in my back pocket. I will only pull it out when I need to, probably on the warmer days as we get further into fall, if we have any more of those, because today is September 25th, and we're 4 days into fall. So who knows how many, you know, warmer days we're going to have. I mean, it's 25 Celsius, which is about 77 Fahrenheit, and we've had a few of those the past few days, but I'm pretty sure that's just summer kind of tapering off and giving us the last little, well, thanks for coming, thanks for playing, but now it's time for a giant commercial break while we get into fall and that massive season called winter, while I deal with screaming babies off in this daycare next to me. Oh well, but it's fine. What can I say? What more can I say about that cold brew? It was fantastic. It did its job. I'm not sure I would have it every day because that can't be healthy for you. I was texting a friend of mine. I think I may have texted her, you know, either the next day or later the same day, where I told her, I said, look, it's Sunday, it's 9 in the morning, Leigh needs a pick-me-up. What does he do? Gets cold brew iced coffee, and I am floating, man. I'm on the same playing field as Bald Eagle, you know, just as any bird you can think of. Like, Superman and I are best friends at this point because we're flying side by side. Those planes that you see in the air, those 747s, yeah, no, that's where I am. I am floating alongside those, just candy wrapper caught in an updraft. It was insane. I have never felt so woohoo in my entire life. It was nuts. It was something else, and I was having a ball, I guess you could say. I was enjoying it because I was alert, but I didn't think it would take effect that quickly after 3 small sips and then, you know, last 17 hours. But it did, which was kind of like, well, all right, if I ever need to pull that ace out of my back pocket, I know where to go, right? I know what place to go to, what to order, and how to order it. So, I mean, that's just something else. I mean, it tasted great, don't get me wrong. The coffee itself tasted great. Aside from the potency and the fact that it was way, way up there. I mean, that's what I guess what cold brew is. And this friend of mine who was basically, you know, we were going back and forth, and she's like, you know, maybe you should try a cold brew, or like a nitro cold brew, I mean, which is where I think they add CO2 to it, in terms of, like, you know, other than your normal cold brew, which is just steeped for like 20 hours in a bag and then stuck in a drum, or I think it's like a 5-liter bucket or something like that. But I think a nitro cold brew is where they actually have they add CO2 to it. And I think I fired back a text and said, look, if I have one of those, I'm not coming back for 6 months. Like, Leigh's in the air, okay? I'm floating with the birds. I can see the angels. I can see and hear the angels sing at this point. Like, I'm making out with the sun if I have a nitro cold brew. I was pretty damn close with just a normal cold brew. And it was something else. But, I mean, I liked it. I'm not sure I'd have it sort of every day because I don't drink coffee every day. Like, if I need the coffee, it's because we're going to have a late night, or I've had a late night the night before. And, you know, usually coffee for me, and anything with caffeine in it, means I've got editing to do, I've got other sort of, like, production stuff that I need to get done, or emails to return and stuff like that. But just a lot of work that needs to get done, and I work better later at night anyway. So the only reason I would get, you know, anything with caffeine in it is because work's got to get done and I have deadlines. But that was my experience with the Starbucks Cold Brew. I liked it. Not sure I'd have it every day. So thankful I went with a medium or a grande in Starbucks speak, or Starbucks and ease if you want to call it that. But yeah, it was something else. Again, glad I went with a grande or a medium, if you want to call it that, because I'm not sure legally you could stick that much cold brew coffee in a venti. Then again, Starbucks proved me wrong. Love you guys, but That's some potent, powerful stuff. But there you go. That's my experience, or that was my experience with drinking an iced coffee, an iced cold brew coffee from Starbucks for the first time in a long time, just to get the engine running, to get the batteries recharged. And well, what do you know? It's like a lithium ion, because I was wide awake after 3 small sips. But there you have it, my review and experience of the Starbucks Cold Brew iced coffee from right here at a park locally in Toronto, as I recap it for you. Thanks again for listening to this week's episode of the Beats and Speaks podcast. Just a reminder, you can find the Beats and Speaks podcast on my official website, LEIGHTDICKEY.com. New episodes are released every Friday at midnight Eastern Time. You can also find us on YouTube by searching for Leigh Dickey TV. Find it on iTunes, Spotify, and your favorite podcatcher app. Write and leave us a review. I will feature it on the show and feature it on my website as well. If you'd like to be a guest on a future episode of the Beats and Speaks podcast, send me an email to leightdickey@gmail.com. Thanks again for listening. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe. Write and leave us a rating and review. And we will talk to you all next Friday for a brand new episode of the Beats and Speaks podcast from the mind of yours truly, Leigh Dickey and LEIGHTDICKEY.com. All right, we'll talk to you all later. Leigh Dickey signing off. Peace.
LEIGHTDICKEY.com